If you're spending time arguing with a child about whether or not they've lied, you're already off track. When you focus on the lie itself, you let the real issue go unaddressed. Every behavior serves a purpose, and until you understand the reason behind the lie, you can't stop it. When a child lies right to your face, it feels personal, it feels disrespectful and manipulative. But most of the time, lying is a strategy. It's a solution to the problem the child doesn't know how to solve any other way. So instead of asking, how do I stop this child from lying? Ask, what need is this child trying to meet? In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 most common reasons kids lie and what to do in each situation. Reason number 1 is wish fulfillment or fantasy. Sometimes kids lie because they want something to be true so badly, they speak as if it were true. This is especially common in younger kids and is part of typical development. I remember once I had a student on the autism spectrum who spent weeks telling us about his 3 new baby kittens, blueberry, strawberry, and banana. They sounded so adorable, and we gave him so much attention listening to all these stories. Then one day we were chatting with his mom and found out not only did he not have 3 kittens, he was allergic to cats. So we've been duped, and not just us. Turns out he'd been telling all kinds of tall tales to all kinds of people. So what did we do? We stepped back and realized 2 things. One, he genuinely wanted these 3 little kittens. And 2, he was getting a huge amount, a disproportionate amount of social attention every time he told these stories. What a smarty. But here's what we didn't do. We didn't say, hey, stop lying. I talked to your mom and she says that's not true. Instead, we reframed this and validated. We helped him shift it to saying things like, wouldn't it be cool if, or I wish I had, dot, dot, dot. So this let him keep imagining, it let him keep telling his stories and expressing himself, but in a truthful manner. And so why does this matter if it's sort of a typical part of development? It's because kids who lie constantly or embellish constantly, they're going to lose friends because the peers eventually are going to realize that they're not telling the truth and they're going to start pulling away. And they don't always announce, hey, I'm not going to be your friend because you're telling these stories. So it's important that they do try to frame it in a truthful way. Now, onto a type of lying that hits much harder because it's rooted in fear. Kids often lie to protect themselves. It could be from embarrassment, from shame, from disappointing you, or from not feeling good enough and struggling with perfectionism within themselves. For example, maybe the child says they got an A on the test, and then you check the portal or you see the backpack, and it's really a C or a D. So think to yourself before you go into a rage about, hey, they lied to me. Okay, why did they not tell me? Are they struggling with the subject and they don't want to tell me? Are they scared of disappointing me? Are they scared of what this grade means about them? So, the long term game plan and how to address this type of lying is really to normalize mistakes. It's really to be accepting of differences and figure out how to help that child and how to help that child help themselves. What I mean by that is sometimes kids see that bad grade or they see something that feels overwhelming, but it's really solvable. So spend time with them and figure out the next steps. How do we solve this problem? And that will teach them that this grade or this current problem does not define them and that it's something they can overcome. And they don't need to lie about it. They just need to be honest about it. And what you need to do is make sure they feel safe enough to have that open dialogue with you. This next type of lying feels the most personal. The third reason why kids often lie is to avoid consequences. This is the one when we say they knew it was wrong and they still lied about it. It feels like a big betrayal. But here's the trap. If you start arguing about whether they're lying, you've already lost. You're going to spend 20 minutes fighting about the lie, while the real issue, the undone homework, the missing chore, the broken rule, fades into the background. So now the child is learning that debate equals a delay in doing what I was supposed to do in the first place. Not only did I not do it, now I have 20 more minutes of not doing what I don't want to do because we're arguing. This is especially common in children who have ADHD or executive functioning challenges. These kids really struggle to connect what they're doing right now to what's going to happen later. Sometimes they forget, sometimes they feel overwhelmed, sometimes they panic because they genuinely don't know how to fix whatever situation they're in. So, what to do? Find the breakdown point. Why wasn't the task done? Did they not understand it? Did they forget? Are they avoiding it because it's hard? Do they just feel overwhelmed? This lie that they've told is a clue, it's not the actual issue. Make consequences predictable and calm, not scary, not emotional, just logical, consistent, neutral, and above all, clear. If something is not done and you found out later that they've lied to you, you can figure out what they need to get that chore or task done to help them. If they did something hurtful to someone else and lie about it, they can make amends with that person. The consequences need to make sense to the child in order for them to work. Another thing you can do is communicate across contexts. Parents and teachers should be talking to each other. Kids really succeed when the adults around them are synced. Kids generally really do want to please the adults around them. So when a child lies, it's not necessarily that they're trying to be defiant to you. Do not take it as a personal attack. What you want to do is take away the motivation they had in the first place to lie. So have some self reflection in here and ask yourself, am I noticing and praising honesty? Am I modeling honesty? Are my expectations reasonable and appropriate for this child? Am I rewarding honesty? Am I saying things like, thanks for telling me the truth? Let's figure it out together. Am I breaking things down to make them easier? Are my consequences logical and calm and not shame based? Shame doesn't teach. So stay plugged in, know what's happening in the world before everything comes apart. When you understand what their lies really are saying, you can teach the skills that kids need, like emotional regulation, time management, communication, and most of all, just the general confidence and security to be honest.